His girlfriend is cool with it. Why aren't you? I replied, because I'm not. Then I sent a screenshot of her text to his girlfriend, who apparently knew nothing about this sleepover. 3 people were calling me simultaneously by morning. I, 29 male, have been with my girlfriend, 27, for about 14 months. We don't live together, but we spend most weekends at each other's places, and I genuinely thought we were heading somewhere serious. Keyword, thought. Last Thursday night, around 11 p.m., I got a text that made me do a double take. Her. Hey babe, heads up. I'm gonna stay at my coworker's place tonight. We're working late on the quarterly presentation, and it makes more sense than driving home at 2 a.m. His girlfriend is totally cool with it, BTW. Why aren't you? I read it twice, then a third time, because my brain couldn't quite process what I was seeing. Some context here. Her coworker is this guy she started mentioning about 3 months ago. Seemed like a friendly enough dude from what she described. They got assigned to the same project team back in the spring. I'd heard his name maybe a dozen times over those months. Always casually, always work-related. Never met him in person. Never met his girlfriend either. Didn't even know she existed until this exact moment. But here's the thing that immediately bugged me about this text. She didn't ask if I was comfortable with this arrangement. She informed me it was happening. And she preemptively told me his girlfriend was cool with it, like that was supposed to settle the matter before I even had a chance to respond. The "why aren't you?" at the end felt almost like a challenge, like she was daring me to object. I typed back, because I'm not. Her. Seriously? It's just crashing on a couch. Don't be insecure about this. Me. I'm not insecure. I'm uncomfortable. There's a difference. Her. His girlfriend literally said it's fine. She knows nothing's going on. Why do you have to make this weird? Me. You've never mentioned his girlfriend before. How do I even know she exists? Her. OMG. She exists. They've been together like 3 years. You want me to send you her LinkedIn or something? You're being absolutely ridiculous, RN. Me. Sure. Send me her contact info. I'd love to verify she's actually cool with my girlfriend sleeping at her boyfriend's apartment in the middle of the night. I expected her to back down at this point. Maybe get annoyed and say, forget it, she'd just drive home. Or maybe realize how this whole situation looked from the outside and understand why I might have questions. Instead, she sent me a phone number. Her. There. Happy now? Her number. Text her yourself if you don't believe me. This is getting exhausting. So I did exactly that. But I didn't ask if she was cool with it. I didn't introduce myself and politely inquire about the sleepover arrangements. I sent her a screenshot of my girlfriend's text instead, the one that said, his girlfriend is totally cool with it, BTW. Then I added, hey, this is your boyfriend's coworker's boyfriend. She sent me this text tonight. Just wanted to make sure you're actually aware she's planning to stay over at your apartment. Then I put my phone face down on the coffee table, made myself some chamomile tea, and waited. Didn't have to wait long at all. Update 1, the morning after. I woke up at 6:52 a.m. to my phone vibrating itself across the nightstand. Hadn't even set an alarm. The constant buzzing woke me up naturally. 3 missed calls from my girlfriend. 2 from an unknown number that I'd later learn was her coworker. 1 from his girlfriend. Plus about 22 text messages spread across all 3 of them, ranging from frantic to furious to apologetic depending on who was sending them. Let me break down what apparently happened overnight, because it turns out I accidentally detonated a bomb just by asking a simple verification question. The coworker's girlfriend? She had absolutely no idea about any sleepover arrangement. 0. None. Her boyfriend told her he was working late at the office and would probably crash at his buddy's place downtown because he had an early meeting the next morning. Not a female coworker staying over at their apartment. She was home that night, alone, thinking her boyfriend of 3 years was somewhere else entirely, while he was actually with another woman on their couch. When she got my text with the screenshot around 11:30 p.m., she apparently stared at it for a full minute, trying to process what she was reading. Then she grabbed her keys and drove straight to her own apartment. She found my girlfriend and her boyfriend sitting on the couch together, laptop open on the coffee table, Netflix playing on the TV in the background. Working on a presentation at midnight, with a movie streaming, sure. According to the texts I pieced together from all parties over the next several hours, here's what went down. His girlfriend confronted them both immediately. Massive argument ensued right there in the living room. My girlfriend apparently tried to explain that everything was completely innocent, and nothing happened, and nothing was going to happen, but she couldn't explain why her coworker had lied to his girlfriend about his whereabouts in the first place. If this was all so innocent and above board, why the elaborate cover story about staying at a buddy's place? The coworker tried to claim it was a miscommunication and that he forgot to mention my girlfriend was coming over to work on the project. He forgot to mention that a woman would be sleeping in their apartment. Right. You don't forget to mention that. You deliberately omit that because you know how it looks. His girlfriend wasn't buying any of it. She told my girlfriend to leave immediately, and then apparently unleashed 3 years' worth of suspicions and concerns that she'd been bottling up. Things she'd noticed. Late nights that didn't add up. Text messages she'd glimpsed. A pattern she'd been ignoring because she wanted to trust him. My girlfriend left around 1 a.m. and drove home, then apparently stayed up for hours trying to call me repeatedly. I'd silenced my phone after sending that text because, honestly, I knew whatever came next wasn't going to be a pleasant conversation, and I wanted to deal with it with a clear head in the morning. First thing when I woke up and saw the notification chaos, I checked the messages in order. From my girlfriend. What did you do? Why would you text her? You literally ruined everything. It was innocent. Nothing happened. Nothing was going to happen. Now she thinks we're having an affair. You need to call me right now. This is not a joke. I can't believe you would do this to me. Answer your phone. Fine, don't answer. But we will be talking about this tomorrow. From the coworker's girlfriend. Thank you for telling me. I'm so sorry you're dealing with this too. I had no idea about any of this. We should talk when you have a chance. From the unknown number, turned out to be the coworker himself. Dude, what the hell is wrong with you? You just destroyed my relationship over absolutely nothing. She was literally just crashing on my couch after a long work session. You're a psycho, and you're going to regret this. I didn't respond to any of them immediately. Made coffee first, strong. Needed the caffeine, and needed time to think through everything clearly. Here's what I kept coming back to as I sat at my kitchen table. Why did he lie to his girlfriend about where he was and who he was with? If this was all innocent, just 2 coworkers working late on a presentation, why not simply say, "Hey babe, my coworker is coming over to work on this project and might crash on the couch if it goes late"? That's a perfectly normal thing to tell your partner. Why make up an elaborate story about staying at a buddy's place downtown? And why did my girlfriend assume his girlfriend was totally cool with it if she'd never actually confirmed that with the woman herself? She just took his word for it. Or maybe she knew he hadn't told her and just didn't care. Either way, something was deeply off about this whole situation. I called my girlfriend around 8 a.m. once I felt prepared for whatever conversation was coming. She answered before the first ring even finished. Finally, do you have any idea what you've caused? I verified information you gave me. You said his girlfriend was cool with you staying over. She wasn't cool with it. She didn't even know about it. Because he probably just forgot to tell her. It wasn't a big deal until you made it into one. He told her he was staying at a friend's place, not at his own apartment with a female coworker sleeping over. Long silence. Then, okay, look, he probably just said that because he knew she'd overreact, like you're overreacting right now. So his solution to her potentially overreacting to the truth was to just lie to her completely, and you don't see any problem with that? That's not my problem. That's between them. It became your problem when you told me she approved of something she didn't even know about. I asked you a direct question. You gave me her number, and the answer I got was very different from what you told me. You went behind my back and contacted a stranger to cause drama. You gave me her number. You literally handed it to me yourself and told me to text her if I didn't believe you. I did exactly what you suggested. I didn't think you'd actually do it. It was supposed to be like a reassurance thing, to show I had nothing to hide. Then why did verifying it blow everything up? If there was really nothing to hide, she would have said, "Yeah, I know, it's fine," and that would have been the end of it. She didn't have an answer for that. I could hear her breathing hard on the other end of the line, trying to figure out her next move. Finally, she pivoted to something else. You know what? I need some space from this conversation. I can't talk to you right now. You've completely violated my trust by going behind my back like this. I almost laughed out loud. Almost. I violated your trust? By checking on information you provided me? You literally challenged me to verify it. You went behind my back and contacted his girlfriend to deliberately cause drama between them. His girlfriend deserved to know her boyfriend was lying to her, and I deserved to know if what you told me was actually true. It wasn't. She hung up without another word. I finished my coffee and started thinking about what came next. Update 2, 1 week later. It's been 7 days since the original text, and things have escalated in ways I genuinely didn't anticipate. The entitlement coming from multiple directions has been almost impressive. First, the situation between her coworker and his now ex-girlfriend. That relationship is completely done. They split permanently about 2 days after the incident. According to what I've pieced together from the ex-girlfriend, we've exchanged texts a few times since that night. She reached out to thank me again, and we've stayed loosely in touch. Once she started actually looking at things with clear eyes, she found a lot more to be concerned about. Messages on his phone that didn't add up, a pattern of late nights and vague explanations stretching back months. Female friends he'd never mentioned. Nothing concrete linking him to my girlfriend specifically, but enough to confirm he wasn't the honest, faithful boyfriend he'd been pretending to be for 3 years. The sleepover situation was apparently just the final straw that broke everything open. She's staying with her sister now while she figures out her living situation. They're done for good. She seems sad but also relieved, if that makes sense. Like she'd known something was off for a while, and finally got confirmation she wasn't crazy. My girlfriend, meanwhile, blames me for all of this entirely, which brings me to the entitlement that's been steadily building throughout this week. Day 2 after the incident, she showed up at my apartment without calling ahead. Just knocked on my door around 7 p.m. and walked in when I opened it, like she still had every right to be there. We need to have a real conversation about what you did. What I did was verify information you provided me. Want to sit down, or are you planning to pace around my living room looking upset? I'm not sitting down. This is serious. You've single-handedly ruined someone's 3-year relationship. His lies ruined his relationship. I just brought them to light. It wasn't your place to bring anything to light. That was between him and his girlfriend. Actually, it became my business the moment you told me she approved of you sleeping at his place, which she didn't approve of, because she didn't know it was happening. She started pacing. Classic thing she does when she's working up to something bigger. Do you understand the position you've put me in at work now? Everyone knows about this. The whole office is whispering about it. People are looking at me differently. Whispering about what exactly? That your coworker lied to his girlfriend and got caught? That's not your scandal unless you made it yours. They think we were having an affair. They think I'm a homewrecker. Were you having an affair? She stopped pacing and turned to face me. Excuse me? Simple question. Were you sleeping with him? Is that why he felt like he needed to lie about you being there? No! Absolutely nothing physical happened. We were legitimately working on a presentation, and it got late, and I was going to crash on his couch because I was tired. That's it. At his apartment, where his girlfriend of 3 years didn't know you'd be, because he deliberately lied about being there at all. And instead of questioning why he'd need to lie about something so innocent, you just went along with it and told me not to be insecure about it. She got quiet for a moment, Then, in a smaller, more uncertain voice, "I thought she knew. He told me she was fine with it. He said she was chill about stuff like this. So he lied to both of you then. He told you she knew. He told her he was somewhere else entirely. That doesn't concern you at all?" That seemed to land. I could see it register on her face, the realization that she'd been played too. But instead of sitting with that uncomfortable truth, she deflected right back to being angry at me. "This doesn't change what you did. You deliberately tried to blow up their relationship." I asked a question. The answer I got is what blew everything up. There's a significant difference. She left after that exchange. Didn't slam the door on her way out, which honestly surprised me a little. Just walked out looking more confused and conflicted than purely angry. Day 4 is when her mother decided to get involved. I'd only met her mother twice over our 14 months together, and both times she'd been perfectly pleasant. Typical concerned mom energy, nothing unusual. This phone call was a very different experience. "I don't know what kind of game you think you're playing here, but you've upset my daughter terribly, and I think you owe her an apology." "Ma'am, I'm not playing any games. Your daughter told me another woman was okay with her sleeping at that woman's boyfriend's apartment. The other woman wasn't okay with it because she didn't even know it was happening. I simply confirmed that. By going behind my daughter's back and contacting complete strangers, that's a violation of trust. Your daughter gave me the contact information herself. She literally handed me the phone number and explicitly told me to verify it with this woman. I did exactly what she suggested I do." Very long pause on the other end. She didn't tell me that part of the story. I'm sure she didn't. Well, regardless of the specifics, you should have trusted her judgment. That's what partners do. I did trust her judgment. I trusted that the information she provided me was accurate. Turns out it wasn't accurate at all. That's not a failing on my part. Her mother didn't have much else to say after that. The call ended with a vague, somewhat deflated, "Well, I hope you two can work through this somehow," before she hung up. Day 6 is when the coworker himself decided to make an appearance. I was walking back from grabbing groceries at the store around the corner when I spotted him leaning against his car in my apartment complex's parking lot. I recognized him from photos my girlfriend had shown me over the months. Team building events, office happy hours, that kind of thing. He looked rough, unshaved, tired, wearing clothes that looked like he'd slept in them. "We need to talk," he said as I approached. "Do we, though? You cost me my relationship. 3 years. Gone. Because of you." I shifted my grocery bags to my other hand. "Pretty sure your lies are what cost you your relationship. I just provided information. Nothing was going on between me and your girlfriend. Nothing physical. Not ever. Then why'd you tell your girlfriend you were staying at some buddy's place downtown instead of your own apartment?" He looked away, jaw tight. "It was just easier that way. She could be insecure sometimes. Would have asked a million questions about why a female coworker was coming over. So instead of answering her questions honestly, you chose to lie to her completely about where you were, and you don't see how that might be a problem? It was a white lie, to avoid unnecessary drama. Seems like it created way more drama than honesty would have." He stepped closer to me. Not quite threatening yet, but definitely testing whether I'd back down. "You think you're real clever, don't you? Your little detective move, texting my girlfriend out of nowhere. Thought you were so smart. Your girlfriend deserved to know the truth about what was happening in her own apartment. So did I. Neither of us got that truth from the people who should have given it to us. You don't know anything about my relationship. I know it's completely over now because you couldn't tell the truth about a simple couch sleepover. That says everything I need to know." He looked like he genuinely wanted to take a swing at me. For about 3 or 4 very tense seconds, I honestly thought I was about to get into a fistfight in a parking lot while holding a bag of groceries and a carton of eggs. But then something in him deflated, and he just shook his head. "You and her deserve each other. You're both miserable people." Then he got in his car and drove off. I went inside and put away my groceries. My hands were shaking slightly afterward. Adrenaline, probably, combined with the general strangeness of being confronted by a guy whose entire life fell apart because he couldn't tell his girlfriend the simple truth about a work project. Final update, 2 weeks later. Time to wrap this whole thing up because there's not much else to tell. My girlfriend and I are officially done. It happened about 4 days ago, and the actual breakup conversation was surprisingly anticlimactic after all the build-up. She texted me asking if we could meet up to talk things through properly. Very formal phrasing, very scheduled, specific time, specific place. I knew from the tone it was going to be a breakup conversation, and honestly, I was ready for it. We met at my apartment, sat on the couch, same place we'd watched movies together 100 times. Different energy now, though. She started with what I think was supposed to be a reconciliation speech, but it pretty quickly turned into something else entirely. I've been doing a lot of thinking over the past 2 weeks about everything that happened and what it means. Okay. And I've come to realize that you fundamentally don't trust me. You never really did. And a relationship can't survive without basic trust. I waited for her to continue. You texted a complete stranger instead of just believing me when I told you the situation was innocent. That tells me everything I need to know about how you actually see me. I texted her because you gave me her number and told me to verify the situation myself. I didn't go digging through your phone or hire a private investigator. You literally handed me the contact information and challenged me to use it. I didn't actually think you would do it. I thought you'd realize you were being ridiculous and just trust me like a normal boyfriend. So you called my bluff, and I called yours, except mine wasn't a bluff. I actually wanted to verify the truth. She looked genuinely hurt by that framing. I've never cheated on you. Not once. Nothing physical happened with him. Not ever. Maybe nothing physical happened. I'm willing to believe that. But you were comfortable with him lying to his girlfriend so you two could be alone together in his apartment late at night. That's not nothing. That's a boundary issue. It wasn't my lie to correct. How is that my responsibility? But it was your lie to benefit from, and when I questioned any of it, your immediate first instinct was to tell me I was being insecure and paranoid instead of actually examining why the whole situation felt wrong. She didn't have a response to that. Just sat there looking at her hands. I didn't blow up your coworker's relationship, I continued. His lies did that. I didn't create this whole situation. You two created it by being comfortable with deception. I just refused to participate in it. So we're done then? Just like that? I think you came here tonight to end things. I'm just agreeing with you that it's the right call. She started crying then. Not dramatic sobbing or anything performative, just quiet tears rolling down her cheeks. Part of me genuinely wanted to comfort her. 14 months together, shared experiences, real feelings. That doesn't just evaporate overnight. But I stayed where I was on my side of the couch. I really did love you, she said after a while. I know. I loved you too. But love isn't enough when the foundation underneath it has cracks. She left about 20 minutes later, took the few things she'd left at my place over the months we were together, a cardigan she liked, some skincare products, a phone charger, a book she'd been meaning to finish. Seeing all of those items fit easily into a single small shopping bag was somehow sadder than the actual conversation we'd just had. So, here's where everyone ended up. Her coworker and his ex-girlfriend are completely finished. She moved out of their shared apartment and is staying with her sister while she gets her life sorted out. She started seeing a therapist to work through some stuff. Apparently this wasn't the first time she'd ignored red flags with him, and she wants to understand why she kept making excuses. She thanked me again last week for being the wake-up call she needed. We're not friends exactly, but we're friendly enough. She seems like she's going to be okay eventually. Her coworker is apparently miserable. Lost his girlfriend of 3 years, having to find a new apartment since he can't afford their old place alone, and his reputation at work has taken a serious hit. He's been telling anyone who'll listen that I'm some kind of paranoid psycho who destroyed his life over nothing. Some people buy that narrative. Most people who actually know the details don't. The story of guy lies to girlfriend about being alone with female coworker and gets caught doesn't play well, no matter how you try to spin it. My ex-girlfriend is doing... I actually don't know. We haven't spoken since she left my apartment. Her mother tried to call me once more, but I didn't answer. Got a text from her best friend calling me an insecure control freak who ruined a good thing, which I just left on read. And me? I'm okay. Not great, not terrible. Somewhere in the middle. 14 months isn't nothing, and there are moments late at night when I miss her, the good parts of her anyway. But every time that feeling creeps up, I remember the text that started all of this. His girlfriend is totally cool with it. Why aren't you? Because the girlfriend wasn't cool with it. She didn't even know. The whole arrangement was built on lies and comfortable deceptions, and I was expected to just accept that without any questions. I don't regret what I did. When someone hands you a phone number and challenges you to verify their story yourself, that's not going behind their back. That's accepting an invitation. If the story had been true and innocent, nothing would have happened. His girlfriend would have said, "Yeah, I know about the sleepover, no big deal." And that would have been the end of everything. But the story wasn't true. And now, here we all are. Some people might read this and think I overreacted, that I should have just trusted her, let her crash on some guy's couch, and moved on with my life. Maybe they're right. I don't know. But here's the thing. She could have just come home. She could have driven the 40-something minutes back to her place. She could have been transparent with me about the full situation instead of preemptively defending it before I even asked a question. Instead, she chose to spend the night at another man's apartment, while that man's girlfriend was being actively lied to about where he was. And when I had the audacity to question any of it, I was the one with the problem. That's not a relationship I want to be in. Call me insecure if that makes you feel better about it. I call it having standards. Anyway, thanks for reading this whole mess. Time to move forward.